Hey, welcome to Dre's Take. This week, is it really better to buy cash? Well, more people are doing so at least. According to a new article this week, 1/3 of US home buyers are choosing to use cash instead of financing, and even more in Florida. But why? First, let's look at the statistics. The percentage of US cash sales hit its highest level since 2014. And in the state of Florida, this percentage ranges from 35% in Orlando to 53, almost 54% in West Palm Beach. Last year, the total percentage nationwide was just 30%, 30.7 to be exact. And so to answer why, it's the mortgage rates. You see, using cash is not always the best option. For instance, when interest rates were 2.5% or 3%, that's almost free money, so to speak, when you can use your cash reserves in other places and get a healthier return than the percentage on the mortgage rate. For instance, if you've got $100,000 and you can get an 8% return on your money somewhere else, then it doesn't make a lot of sense to have it tied up in a mortgage that's only costing you 2.5% or 3%. You see, by having the money invested in other places, you can essentially profit the spread between the mortgage rate and the return that you're getting elsewhere. So in that example, you'd be gaining about 5% on that money by opting to go for a mortgage instead of cash. But in today's interest rate environment, and with the markets all over the place as far as stocks and whatnot, it does make more sense to just use the cash, because you know you're at least saving that 6.5% or 7% that you would be paying on that money. And the markets aren't really performing all that well anyways, so it's not like you're gonna run out there and get a better return on that cash elsewhere. Now, where are folks getting all this money from? Well, as you know, we've had about 1.4 million people move down since the pandemic. A lot of those folks were from high-paying, high-tax states, and when they liquidated properties that they may have owned up there after the run-up in home prices over the last handful of years, they had a lot of equity. And they were able to take that equity out of those high-priced homes. And say New York, you sell a brownstone for a couple $1,000,000 and you come down here to Florida, 500,000 or 600,000 doesn't really seem like a whole lot of money to plop down when you just made $1 million on the sale of your home back east. And then obviously there's all the classic reasons why people have that kind of cash in a state like Florida, where a lot of wealthy folks like to play and call home. Anyway, I just thought this article was pretty interesting. It just always shows you the ever-changing landscape of the market. When you're hearing about things like mortgage applications falling and whatnot, and you think maybe that's an indicator of something crazy going on in the housing market, it really may be less of a concern than necessary when you see that many buyers are just opting to use cash instead. That definitely plays a role in that. I just thought it was an interesting little read here, see how the real estate landscape is always changing and what buyers and consumers are out there doing, or what sellers can expect when they go to list a home. Be sure to check out the other articles in the weekly email and stay tuned for more real estate info each week. And yeah, that's going to be Dre's Take. All right, now y'all, take care.